Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive.
Absolutely. Always ready to dig into history's biggest moments.
Well, today we're tackling one that's kind of impossible to ignore, right? The American Civil War.
Mm,
But we're doing more than just listing dates and generals.
Right, none of that textbook stuff.
Exactly. Think of it this way. Imagine the U.S., not as we know it, but split right down the middle. Two completely different worlds on a collision course.
And it's fascinating, how these differences, some seemingly small, can snowball into a conflict that tears a nation apart.
So what caused this massive rift? To really grasp it, we got to look at the source material.
And that's what we're here for, breaking it down so everyone can see how these seemingly impossible differences, well, they led to war.
All right, so picture this. The North in the mid-1800s, a land of booming factories, immigrants pouring in, cities exploding in size.
All about progress, industry, the whole shebang.
Right. Now shift gears, head down south. It's a world of sprawling plantations, fueled by cash crops, cotton being king.
And of course,
Yeah.
the elephant in the room, slavery.
Yeah, they can't shy away from that.
Yeah.
So you've got these two radically different economies. How did that shape their worldviews?
It wasn't just about jobs, right? Northerners saw themselves on the cutting edge, building the future. Southerners, they clung to tradition, their way of life. And tragically, that included a system built on the backs of enslaved people.
It's a tough thing to grapple with, looking back. But I guess it makes you think, if you were alive then, where would you fit in? Which side's values would resonate with you more?
It's a thought-provoking question. And remember, this moral divide went way beyond economics. It was woven into the social fabric.
Okay, so give us a glimpse into that. What was life like on each side?
Well, up north, cities were buzzing, new ideas everywhere.
Yeah.
Women's rights, social reforms, even a movement to, curb alcohol consumption.
The temperance movement, right.
Totally.
Wild times.
Exactly. Now, down south, think grand estates, a very strict social hierarchy. And slavery wasn't just accepted, it was defended as the natural order.
And you see these clashing values reflected in the literature of the time, right?
Sure. Absolutely. Uncle Tom's Cabin up north, igniting anti-slavery passions. And down south, they had their own pro-slavery publications pushing back. Truly a battle for hearts and minds.
Okay, so we've got this economic divide, this moral divide. How did it play out politically?
Well, it got heated. The North, with their industries, they wanted tariffs to protect themselves. The South, exporting all that cotton, they wanted free trade.
Classic clash of interests.
Yep. But beneath that was something even bigger. States' rights. The South saw the federal government, especially its potential to meddle with slavery. Well, they saw it as a threat to their way of life, their autonomy.
And this whole debate over federal versus state power.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound kind of familiar?
No, absolutely. It's echoes throughout history, right? We're still grappling with those questions today.
It's like that saying, the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah.
And speaking of change, there was one huge GE factor that threw gasoline on this already burning fire.
Westward expansion.
Manifest destiny. That idea that America was destined to spread across the continent, it became the ultimate flashpoint. So new territories opening up. That's got to be a problem when you've got this one huge GE issue dividing the nation.
Exactly. Would slavery be allowed in these new lands? It became the question. And in the North, you see the rise of the free soil movement. These weren't all abolitionists, mind you,
So not necessarily against slavery itself, but
but against its expansion. They saw it as a threat to their own opportunities out west. And it really makes you wonder, could compromise have worked at this point, or was conflict just unavoidable?
they definitely tried, right?
Yeah.
There was the Compromise of 1850,
Aiming to balance the scales on slavery, new states.
and then the Kansas-Nebraska Act, letting residents vote on whether to allow slavery.
But it backfired spectacularly.
Yeah, these compromises. They were like putting Band-Aids on a bullet wound.
Exactly. They didn't address the root cause.
Yeah.
Two fundamentally different visions for America. And in the end, tragically, war became almost inevitable.
So we've got this explosive mix, right? Economies clashing, values at odds, political gridlock, and the fight for the West.
Yeah.
It's almost like a recipe for disaster.
And it's a chilling reminder, even in a nation built on unity, these deep divisions, they can have catastrophic consequences.
It really makes you think, could something like this happen again? Maybe with the different dividing lines, different issues.
It's a question worth pondering. And maybe by understanding the past, we can navigate the present a little bit better.
Some serious food for thought there. Thanks for joining us as we explore these causes of the Civil War. And remember, we'll be diving even deeper into each of these causes in future episodes, so make sure you subscribe.
See you then.